welcome back to another video. This is the first video that I am filming in the new apartment. So if it's a little echoey, that's probably why, because we don't have a ton of furniture, we don't have curtains up, everything like that. But I wanted to make this video for you guys, and we are doing another meal prep video. So essentially, if you've never seen these videos before, I'm sharing 3 different recipes, all of which are great for meal prep and can be used throughout the week. So I'll give you a breakfast recipe and then a dinner and lunch recipe. And the dinner and lunch recipes can always be interchanged, and all of these things that you can make ahead and you can pop them in the fridge. They should last all week long. You can also freeze them, and they're all really delicious. So as always, the recipes are up on the blog for you. I've linked those down in the description box. And one of the things that I tried to do with this video specifically is make things that you could either cook at the same time in the oven. So you'll see that we have 2 quinoa bakes. And then the other thing that we can do is we're making a soup in the Instant Pot, and that cooks pretty quickly too. So I hope that these recipes don't take that long for you to prep and make. So the goal was that this would be like kind of a condensed meal prep version. But I'm really interested to hear what you think. So let me know as you go if you have any questions or anything like that down in the comment box. And as always, before we dive in, I would love to encourage you to subscribe if you are not yet part of our community. You can tap the red button that is right below this video. It says subscribe. That will subscribe you, and that's all you got to do. Otherwise, let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so we're going to start with the Quinoa Breakfast bake, and we're going to start by chopping up 2 apples. So I just peeled them, and then I just chopped them into like little chunks. And then we're going to add our quinoa, uncooked white quinoa, into our casserole dish. Then you can add in your apples, as well as your cinnamon, and you'll just give that a quick stir. You want to make sure that all of these ingredients are kind of combined. You don't want big pockets of uncooked quinoa, so you just want to stir it all together to make sure it's evenly combined. And then you'll add in your liquid, which is a blend of almond milk, as well as a flaxseed egg, some applesauce, and some maple syrup. And you could also add in some vanilla extract if you wanted. That would be really good. And again, give it a stir until everything is combined. And again, you want to look for not big pockets of quinoa, because that will get dry and it won't cook properly. Once you have everything stirred together, you can just pop it in the oven, and you'll cook it up until the quinoa looks mostly cooked and the water has mostly been absorbed. You can let it cool a little bit. You can store it in the fridge just in this pan. You could divide it between different containers. That's up to you. But in terms of serving it, I like to serve it warm, and I like to top it with a little bit of something creamy. So I'm doing some coconut yogurt here. It's also really good with just a drizzle of almond milk. And then I also like to do something crunchy, so I'm going to do some fresh apples as well as some sliced almonds. And then I finish it off with a little bit of honey. But if you are not eating honey or you don't eat honey, you could do a drizzle of maple syrup, agave, brown rice syrup, date syrup, etc. Oh, and then of course I finish it off with a little bit of coconut because it looks pretty and it tastes good. So that's it for this breakfast. You could definitely eat this for 5 days and it would stay good in the fridge, and it tastes delicious as well. Next, we're going to make the wild rice soup, and we are going to use our Instant Pot. So we're going to turn our Instant Pot on to the saute setting, and then we'll add in our olive oil. Once that's hot, we will add in our onions, carrots, celery, and garlic. And you're going to saute this until they start to soften. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes. Once they've softened, you can season it with salt and pepper, and then we will add in our wild rice. I chose a wild rice blend, but you could use just regular wild rice, like simple plain wild rice, or you could use this blend. Both of them should be pretty easy to find. Give that a quick stir, and then we will add in our liquids. So we are going to use a blend of vegetable broth as well as coconut milk, and I'm going to add a whole carton, so 4 cups of vegetable broth. And then I'm also going to use full fat coconut milk. I definitely recommend full fat for this recipe. It adds a lot more flavor and it makes it really nice and creamy. So go for full fat coconut milk. And then for our spices, we are going to just do a blend of some dried spices. You really could do any kind of spice blend that you want. I just used what we had at our Airbnb when I filmed this recipe video. So that was a mixture of dried thyme, dried basil, and bay leaves. So use that blend, or you can use another dried spice blend. Give that a stir until it's combined, and then we will pop the lid on our Instant Pot. Make sure that it is set to sealed, and we will set it to high pressure and cook it for 40 minutes. Once it's hit the 40-minute mark, let it naturally release the pressure for about 15 minutes, and then you can open the valve and let it release the rest of the way. Then you can just remove the lid, give it a stir, take out the bay leaves, and what we're actually going to do is thicken it even a little bit more. So I use a little measuring cup and I dip it into the soup and I try to get just the broth. And then I will add directly into that measuring cup, I'll add the arrowroot starch. You could also do tapioca, cornstarch, etc. And you'll just give it a quick stir with a whisk. So whisk it all together, and that is forming a slurry. So this is going to help thicken the soup a little bit and make it that like dense creaminess that you get from wild rice soup. Once you have that slurry, you can just pour that directly back into the pot and stir it all together. And our last finishing touch is to add a little bit of lemon juice. I love adding lemon juice at the end of soups because it really brightens things. It makes it much more flavorful, and it just gives it a nice little flavor lift. So I definitely recommend that. And then you can serve it up. If you want to use protein in this recipe, you can add chickpeas, you could add tofu, you could add chicken. You could also add spinach or kale if you wanted to add in some greens. It's pretty customizable. Again, it's a soup, so it freezes well, it keeps well in the fridge, and it should be good all week long. Last but not least, we are making our spinach and artichoke quinoa casserole. We're gonna start with the sauce. So we're adding some soaked cashews into our blender, along with half of an onion, a clove of garlic, some dried Italian seasoning blend, tamari, the juice of 1 lemon, and some water. And you'll pop the lid on your blender, put the blender on its base, and blend this up until it is smooth and creamy. And this is going to be our quote-unquote cream sauce for this casserole. So set that aside once it's blended, and you can add the rest of the casserole ingredients into the dish. So we're gonna start with white quinoa. We're also gonna add in our chickpeas, which have been drained and rinsed, as well as our artichoke hearts, our sauteed spinach, and a half a cup of vegan Parmesan, or regular Parmesan if you eat dairy, or just shredded vegan cheese. Just like the quinoa bake, we are going to stir this together to get those ingredients as well combined as you can. This dish was a little small, but just stir it together. And then we will add in our liquid. So add in that cheese sauce, that cream sauce, and then we'll also add in some water. And I'm realizing now you could have just added the water into the cream sauce. So if you want to do that, that's fine. And then again, use a spoon or something to stir this all together to get everything evenly incorporated throughout the dish. And then we will bake this up just like the last one until it is bubbly and the quinoa has been cooked and most of the liquid has been absorbed. And then you can just serve it up whenever you're ready. So for this one, I would definitely recommend topping it with some fresh herbs and maybe like a drizzle of tahini, but it's pretty flavorful on its own. I think that it's delicious just as is. And just like the other ones, this will freeze well. You could keep this in the fridge for 4 to 5 days. And if you wanted to do something other than chickpeas, you could absolutely do that as well. You could do tofu, chicken, etc. So another protein flexible option. And there you have it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed our meal prep video. As you can see, all of these recipes are vegan, they are gluten-free, and I also wanted to make them protein flexible so you can swap your proteins in and out if you want to, whether it's using beans, tofu, or if you have meat eaters in your house using chicken or something like that. So if you have any questions about the recipes as we go or as you go while you're making them, you can come back to this video and drop them down in the comments. Or if you want to ask a specific recipe question, I recommend actually asking them on the post itself, because then I can like track exactly where you're asking the question and make sure that I'm answering it correctly. So those are all linked down in the description box for you guys if you do want to make them. And I also want to just share that if you are not like a quinoa fan and you want to not have baked quinoa for breakfast and for lunch/dinner, I totally get it. You can swap your grains in and out. So you could use brown rice maybe in the dinner recipe. You could try oats in the breakfast if you wanted. So just let me know how it goes. And if you have questions, like I said, come back to this video and drop them down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you like meal prep recipes and things like this, I'll link my meal prep playlist down in the description box. And if you feel like you need help with meal prep and you're just like brand new, you maybe want like to learn a more concrete system, I do have a meal prep program, so I will link that down below for you as well. It's called Simply Prepped. It is a 4-week meal prep and planning system, and it rocks. So if you're interested in checking that out, that link will be down below for you as well. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.